it's one-on-one. There's preparation involved on both sides, so that when you go into this meeting, both sides are prepared with respect to the topics you want to talk about, what you want to focus on. Perhaps it might be talking about marketing, perhaps it's talking about business development, perhaps it's talking about new products, maybe it's new technology, those types of things. So both sides are prepared. You go in, you have your 40 minutes, it's a solid, very productive 40 minutes, and then afterwards there's follow-up. So I'd say it's extremely well structured.
The other thing I think is important to know is that we usually pre-screen the calls. So before we meet at SecurityXchange, we've had conversations with the folks that we're going to meet, and we've had a chance to have a preliminary discussion about what their interests are, if there's projects, if there's problems, if there's challenges, if they have industry questions, product questions that they want us to particularly focus on. We have a chance to prepare for that, so that when we get into that one-on-one meeting, we have a chance to really focus and get some work done. And it's done, I think, in a very relaxed, non-stressful environment. So it works well for us.
I'm able to meet with 10, 15 or more of manufacturers, either those that I'm doing business with now or prospects, in 2 days. And for me to spend that amount of time back in my office, it would have been multiple times longer.
I believe the velocity factor, if you will, when I get in front of 4 or 5 or 6 in one day, that type of, I guess, speed, if you will, allows me to do quickly comparisons and contrast to either an executive management approach of how they're approaching the business, where they're investing, which kind of pinpoints a little more of their strategic direction, what they want to present. And they're either up and coming, or they're reinventing, or they're trying to sustain their position. And so walking through those different meetings in a short period of time gives me quick contrast and comparison.
I get to talk to the chief CEOs, COOs, engineering. They're not selling me the product. They are providing solutions.
I would say that the meetings are very low pressure. We've already pre-discussed with most of the meetings that we've had. We've pre-discussed with conference calls, so we're both coming with a set agenda and a set expectation of what we're here to discuss. So it's not about signing a contract, committing to an order. It's more about getting updated, resolving open topics that we pre-discussed, and coming up with a long-term strategy roadmap of how we can work together to grow business in the future.
I find the quality of time fantastic here. The one-on-one talking with the presidents, the vice presidents, the people that make things happen within their different companies saves an amount of time of going through sales people with me. Usually when you work with the salespeople, it's a time-consuming. The dance begins. You make the cold call. You have the meeting. You continue the cold calls, a couple of lunches, you're trying to find a common ground, and then when you finally get near the sales, that's when they bring in the team and you have more meetings. Here you circumvent a lot of the different steps and you're able to meet one-on-one with the movers and shakers to meet your ends.
The quality of time here is excellent. It's kind of interesting because I think it's a combination of relaxed and intense meetings, a nice combination of both. So I get some quality, if you will, one-on-one time with some of our key manufacturers and partners, which help with respect to business development. The other thing too is that the good quality is also meeting new manufacturers who we don't necessarily know a lot about, perhaps we don't even do business with, but because of their products and solutions, it's someone that we're going to consider.
In the office environment, there's a little more of a business edge. And that means I have biz dev at the table, I have engineering possibly in a round table setting, and so we're all kind of sharing time. When it's a one-on-one or me sitting with the strategic partner or technology provider, I find a little more relaxed environment, and two, we can speak much more strategic than tactical. And some of those meetings tend to get very tactical early on, especially with engineering at the table.
Trade shows are just cattle call. You don't learn anything. All they do, you trade cards and we'll be in contact with you with your regional sales rep, who really doesn't care. And To be honest with you, the regional sales reps sometimes don't have the real in-depth knowledge of the product. And here, you're meeting with the people that designed the product, who actually know what it does and what it can do for you. And you quickly realize whether it is made for you. And I think it's a benefit to both of myself and the supplier. Why waste time if it's not a good fit? Where a salesperson usually will go that extra effort and keep you on the hook for a while to make that sale. So these people actually don't want to waste their time. They want to make sure you're a good fit for them also.
And the highest pressure situation that you get in is a trade show, because you got 30 seconds to gain some interest with somebody, and it's done in a multitude of ways, most of which are wrong or bad. Here, it's purposeful. Everyone's here because they want to be here, and they're looking for things. And there's mutual benefit that can be generated from that.
It is not closing for the deal. I always tell everybody, you're not going to get a purchase order out of this meeting, but you're going to know whether there's going to be opportunity to do business in the future. So high-pressure sales is the last thing I think that this is. I'll tell you that I have done business with people or companies that I've met here at SecurityXchange that, to be honest, I wouldn't have done business with if they had knocked on my door or I was in a trade show. I probably would have, in all candidly, walked right past their booth, maybe not even returned their phone call. And this has given me an opportunity to find out, wow, they do have a product or a service that I can utilize to build my company. And so, to me, for Protection Bureau, the SecurityXchange has brought us some very good relationships and products.
I can specifically relate to ASIS. ASIS is not really dedicated towards me. They're not focused on me and one-on-one. I hardly ever get to talk to the engineering department. It's mostly salespeople, and I never get to see chief operating officers or CEOs. Here at SecurityXchange, it's the opposite. They're totally focused on me. They know what ahead of time through the pre-calling, what I'm specifically looking at and looking for. And I have engineers, the COOs, CEOs right there at my beck and call, and they're looking at me.
When first approached, it took me about a year or two of being approached to get the concept, and I was a little bit apprehensive because some of the suppliers I met with were suppliers that I knew that if I would have picked up the phone, they would travel to see me. But it was much more effective use of my time of being able to see 5 or 6 or 10 suppliers that I normally wouldn't have met and do it in a condensed 1 to 2 days by making a single trip. So after the first time I came, I was convinced that it was something worth coming back for.
I thought it would be the selling thing. Lock me in a room with a salesman. That's torture, and I wouldn't allow it to happen. And like I said, this is my 8th year, and if that would have happened during any point, I wouldn't have come back.